Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino, back for my post-market wrap-up on this day, Friday, August 17th, 2018. I will refrain from saying lovely today because something happened that I find extremely disturbing. And it's not just me. I want to discuss that with you. I want to get your take on this. So much stuff happened today in this market. It's really incredible. Let's start off with this. Really should be like almost no surprise to you if you follow this blog truly. In my market report from this morning, I explained to you how they were pumping that bond market. They were propping it up again. I said, go have a look at it. Click on the link in the description of this video. It would take you to my website. There's a live chart of the bond market there. They were doing everything they could to prop up that bond market. I mean, spark a rally in the bond market, because this is the new norm. If they can manage to suppress rates, not allow the market to determine fair value, because that's what's the only job of these markets, but it's not allowed to happen. Get in there, some entity, some mysterious entity sparking a rally here in the bond market, it sparks a rally in the stock market. It's a very simple dynamic. It's very unusual. If you understand market dynamics at all, there's generally a risk on and a risk off. Meaning, when there's a reason, a real reason, not an engineered one, for the market to take on risk, you see cash come out of the bond market, go into the stock market, but not now. Now, because of the way rates have been suppressed for an entire decade by the Federal Reserve, who's managing this market, they have to make sure they keep that 10-year yield. You know about the 10-year yield if you follow this blog. In that sweet spot, that's exactly what they're doing. It will not be allowed to move out of that range, and we've seen it stuck in this range for a long time. So once they get in there, and they start propping up that bond market, getting here, buying up all those bonds, keeping yields suppressed, there's nowhere for cash to go except into the stock market. So as I explained in the video this morning, that action was successful. Pushed cash into the stock market. Stocks finished higher. They're also floating out the rumor again that there's going to be some type of a meeting of the minds between China and the Trump administration to discuss tariffs, to discuss trade. I mean, why do we have to wait? Why can't it be done now? I mean, obviously, look, I think it's fake. You all know that. They bring out their props. They float out fake stories. That's just the way it is. Now, why this is not lovely at all to me, this is where I want you guys and girls to chime in here, is this. We found out today President Trump came out stating he believes that corporations should only have to report 2 times a year, as instead of quarterly. Now we get a quarterly report. He wants to make it, or he thinks it's a good idea for these corporations to report twice a year. Now let me ask you just right off the bat, how many of you remember Madoff Securities? How many of you remember Enron? And there were other ones too, other corporations that were, playing with their books, fudging the numbers. How many of you believe, with a show of hands, that both, let's just stick to Madoff Securities and Enron, would have loved to only have to fudge their books twice a year as opposed to quarterly? Look, let me explain this to you in case you don't understand. These quarterly reports are very important for the average guy, the average girl who's trying to keep their head above water in this bizarre market that we're in. I rely on these reports. If you go to my website, traderschoice.net, you will see right above my swing trading chart, there are 9 companies. I always read the quarterly reports on those companies, plus other ones as well. I find these things helpful to me as a trader to navigate. I would imagine that most of you out here that are serious traders do the same thing. Who would this benefit? Who would going to only 2 times a year reporting for these corporations, who would it help? Well, It wouldn't help me, I can tell you that, as a trader of these markets, by not having access to information. It's all about information. You know that. This whole thing is about information. So if these companies are able to do whatever they want to do for a longer period of time, and not, tell us all what's really going on, how does this benefit the regular guy or the regular girl? I'll tell you who it benefits, and we're already starting to hear from them: the corporations and the banks. It's kind of interesting how this played out today, seriously. So I heard this news. I literally couldn't, I became mute. I couldn't even breathe. I think I'd started to develop anoxic encephalopathy. I know I've been using a lot of these medical terms lately. But some type of hypoxic state. I couldn't believe what I was hearing out of our president's mouth. Why would he want to do this? Unless, again, he wants to make it easier for corporations to do whatever they got to do. I can't imagine another way. The restriction of information is never a good thing, especially for the average guy or the average girl who does not in any way, shape, or form have access to the same information that these corporations do. It's just unbelievable. So my phone started ringing, friends of mine, traders, even CNBC, the Confederacy. I will not call them the Confederacy of today, because they got it right. The traders on that show were like, whoa, hold on a second, what's going on here? But, of course, we heard from a couple of CEOs today of corporations saying, hey, you know what? This is really a good thing. I guarantee you that Bernie Madoff Securities, would have thought it was a great idea too, as well as Enron. Okay? This is craziness, people. Let me say this real quick too. If President Trump really wanted to help guys like you and me, what he would do is he would look into the fake, and I'm going to say it one more time, freaking fake paper markets with regard to gold and silver. This won't happen. Why will President Trump not look into the fake paper markets? It's not real. Understand that. These exist to kind of string along the price action of real gold and silver. If President Trump really wanted to do something with these markets that would be beneficial to the average guy or the average girl, he would look into the paper derivative markets of gold and silver. But he will not do that, because we already understand who the biggest player here is on the planet Earth. It's J.P. Morgan Chase. What would happen? President Trump wouldn't touch this. Well, it just won't happen. It would be like, I don't know. I have no idea. It's just not in his wheelhouse. He won't look into it. Look, I am not sitting here trying to beat up on President Trump, but does any of this make sense to you, what I just covered here? I would have to believe that even if you have one fraction of a functioning brain cell, you'll be able to say, whoa, what's really going on here? And the fact that, well, yeah, CEOs of these corporations are already chiming in saying, hey, this is a great idea. Bernie Madoff, if you're watching my video from prison, I guarantee you, you're laughing your freaking rear end off. Do you see what's gone on here? You would have loved this. Let's get it out there. Let's admit, you, my friend, you're not really my friend, but I'm just using that figuratively. You would have loved it, Bernie. You would have freaking loved it. Anyway, let's talk about another thing here that I think deserves to have some light put on it. If you recall, last week at one point, I said, sell Bitcoin, buy Tesla. Okay, well, the Bitcoin part, I got correct. I sold my Bitcoin at over $500 more than it's trading for right now. No, that doesn't mean before you cryptomaniacs go crazy that it's not going to go higher. I actually said a couple of days ago and even yesterday that I believe cryptos were going to bounce. I'm just laying the groundwork here, so calm down, relax. Okay, now, so I had said, sell Bitcoin, buy Tesla. Why did I do that? Well, personally, I believed, and I obviously am pretty damn gullible here in this situation, that Elon Musk, when he said that he had financing secured, I believed the guy. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, just like I've been giving President Trump the benefit of the doubt. And then today when I heard this thing with regard to reporting, cutting it to 2 times instead of quarterly, I just literally, like I said, I became mute. I couldn't breathe. I became, anoxic. It's ridiculous. But I believed Elon. I really did. I think something went on there. I now do not believe, and I think it's common knowledge at this point, that he did not have funds secured to take Tesla private. I love the car. I've driven Teslas. I think they are freaking amazing vehicles. I own an electric vehicle. I own a Mercedes-Benz electric vehicle. And I tell you, I can't tell you how great this thing is. Plugging it in here at my house and charging the darn thing up, not having to go to the gas stations. I just love the darn thing. I really do. But anyway. So anyway, like I was saying with regard to this Bitcoin Tesla thing, it turned out to be a net positive overall trade. Again, what did I do? I sold Bitcoin at $7,000, higher than it's trading at now. May trade higher. Calm down, crypto maniacs. Probably will moving forward, depending on a whole bunch of things. I bought Tesla stock, not the option. $375 a share. I sold it at $361. So I did suffer a loss there. So, but you can see that the trade overall was net positive. I got it wrong, no doubt about it. But again, I got to stop being so freaking gullible. I believed that Elon Musk had financing secured. He said it. I was like, how could the CEO of a company say this and it not be true? I think he's in a lot of trouble here. I really do. I think it was a play. I don't know what's going on with the guy. I think he's a brilliant man. I really do. Something's up. Not sure what it is, but something is up. All right, people, look, so let's just summarize real quick. I do not believe in any way, shape, or form the restriction of information being put out by these corporations, public information, in any way can help the average guy or the average girl, the average investor. I don't see it. It will help corporations cover up whatever they got to do and help the banks. No doubt about it. That's why it's being set up here, and that's why these CEOs are chiming in. I mean, do you believe that these CEOs would chime in if they thought it was a negative thing? A lot of them are saying, "Oh, this is a good thing. Let's get on with it, President Trump. Bring it on. Bring it on." Incredible. It really, really is. Anyway, very disturbing day. Not lovely whatsoever. And we did see the rigging on this market today. I mean, wow. I mean, how many of you find it kind of just somewhat interesting that at the same day, the same hour that we're having a rally here in the bond market, we get a rally in the stock market too? This is just not, well, it is the new norm when they're trying to rig these markets. This is so fake. It is out of control. And I'm going to explain this to you, and I'm going to leave you off with this. If President Trump gets his wish right now with going to 2 times earnings reports as opposed to quarterly reports here, the fakery will get worse, and I mean worse. Write to President Trump at Real Donald Trump. That's his Twitter feed there. Tell him how you feel about this, because this is getting way out of control, in my opinion. Anyway, people, look, it's Friday. It's Friday, so I'm going to leave you off with my usual thing. It's just so important. Please, love each other, care about each other, be charitable. I will see you tomorrow when I do my look ahead segment. We'll try to make a freaking sense of this whole damn thing, if that's even possible anymore. All right, that's it.